Let's talk brand equity. Brand equity, of course, is the value that a brand has to the company. And it's made up of four parts: brand awareness, perceived quality, brand loyalty, brand associations, and proprietary assets. So let's start our discussion with awareness and perceived quality. If you can manage a brand's equity, you'll always have a job in marketing. The single most important thing for creating a brand's equity is successfully managing the customer's experience with the brand. So, what is this concept of brand equity? Well, brand equity is the value of an established brand compared to a new brand. That is, how much more could I get for a branded product with my brand's name on it as opposed to a new brand name on a product that has no meaning or value to the customer? That's the concept then of brand equity, the value of my brand to the company. And here you can see a little chart that has the Acker's approach to brand added value and brand equity. It talks about brand awareness, that is, being aware that the brand exists. The perceived quality of the brand, it of course creates a reason to buy, differentiates and it creates a reason for people to buy my product compared to another. Brand loyalty, of course, reduces my marketing costs and creates a group of customers who are loyal users and supporters of my product. And then there's this issue of brand associations. That is, other things that are associated with my brand. Could be spokespeople, could be particular customers who have endorsed my product. It could be the product category. It could be a number of different associations that help create more value for my brand. And then finally, there are all of the other proprietary assets that might be included. So we're going to talk about all five of these, but today we're going to start by focusing on brand awareness and perceived quality. Now, brand awareness. This is the ability of a potential customers to recognize and recall the name of your brand, its symbol, its trade dress, its slogan, etc. The more people know about your brand, the more equity you have regarding that particular audience. If a customer doesn't know anything about your brand, they can't be supporters of it, and you don't really have any equity in terms of those particular customers. Awareness for the brand and the company and its history creates value in four ways. One is it creates an anchor for other associations. That is, if you know the brand name, I can start to tie other associations to the brand, but you have to really know what the brand is to start with. Familiarity is often linked to liking. The more familiar I am with a particular brand, the more I would be tending to like it. A brand awareness of a brand is a signal of substance. If I know that your brand exists, I know that you must be doing a substantial amount of marketing to create that awareness among the customer base. And also, the idea behind an awareness would be it gives me a brand to consider when I get ready to make a purchase, which moves me further down the customer journey path. There are levels of awareness, right? There is top of the mind awareness. That is the first brand that comes to mind when you talk about this particular product category. There is brand recall. This is my ability to recall that this brand is an option in this particular product category. There is brand logo tagline or brand name recognition. That is, if I see the brand tagline or name, I say, oh, yes, that's such and such a brand. That's brand recognition. So there is top of the mind awareness. There is recall, typically unaided recall. There is recognition. And then, of course, there is that particular part of the customer base that is unaware of the brand. We, of course, want all of the potential customers to move up into the levels of awareness that are more beneficial to building brand awareness and equity. There is a widespread belief that advertising dollars will allow any new brand to overtake a mature brand. That simply is not true. A study of 22 top brands in 2025, 19 are still number one, and 2 are number 2. You're always better to revitalize and reintroduce a particular established brand than to develop a new one, at least from an awareness perspective. So what is this impact what's the impact of this finding on brand equity? Brand equity is a powerful, valuable entity, and it's critical that we start with the foundation of building awareness. Some of the awareness building activities include a word of mouth campaign, maybe a social media campaign, involving a slogan, a symbol, event sponsorships, other associations, being different, publicity, the name, a good name helps dramatically, a mascot, licensing, anything that we can do to build awareness for our brand in the minds of the consumers that might purchase our particular product. Here's an example of awareness. And I want you to think about this in terms of the future of UNLV football or basketball. The Golden Knights, and now even more the Raiders, have moved the Rebels off the front page of the newspaper and off the lead story in the local and evening news. That makes it even harder for the people at UNLV Sports Marketing to build awareness for the team. That reduces team brand equity. And what does that mean then for UNLV Sports? Well, it means they can't do the same stuff they've been doing for the last 20 years. Our athletic department has to move into the new area of marketing. The idea of understanding the brand equity of the UNLV football brand and the UNLV basketball brand, and come up with ways to increase the awareness of those programs across the population. And then, of course, build the other areas that will, and it will result in a substantial improvement in brand equity. Without that, they're just wishing and hoping and not accomplishing anything. The second thing that we wanted to talk about was perceived brand quality. This is the degree to which the customers believe the brand is of high quality and worth the price. Not hope, not hype, but proof is necessary to get people to believe that the brand has high perceived quality. The PIMS database has shown for many years now that perceived quality is the number one factor affecting the profitability of a good or service. And of course, that's true with sports teams, right? Like UNLV football and basketball. The more games they win, the higher the perceived quality and the better than the brand equity. Perceived quality is the lifeblood of building a brand and increasing its brand equity. How do you build and signal brand quality and equity? And in this case, perceived quality? Well, some of the perceived quality building tools include the same features, assets, promotions as the top brands in that field. A warranty and a guarantee. That is, I'm much more likely to buy a brand if you warranty it and guarantee it so that I reduce the risk. The brand should look, feel, and act like the high quality alternatives. I should do my marketing by flagshipping the most positive aspects of the brand. I want to make sure that I have brand recognition, and I want to make sure that I have a price that is commensurate with the particular level of perceived quality that I am pursuing. I need to understand the concept of distribution and think about things like national media campaigns. In summary, the essential building blocks for building brand equity are awareness and perceived quality, followed by brand loyalty, associations to the brand, and brand assets.